Hey, we're Saints. Father Chris here. Welcome to our Crucifixion live stream. Glad to have you with us. Happy New Year to all of you beautiful people. Hope you had a great New Year's Day yesterday. Got to watch some games or parades, whatever you enjoy watching. I hope New Year's Eve was awesome and that everybody was safe and healthy and sound. And we are celebrating a brand new year. New Year's is really it's a marker in many people's lives, right? We all make those resolutions. We want to plan to do something better in the coming year. Most often because the previous year wasn't so good. Like we had goals or plans that we never accomplished. Things may have come upon us where sometimes people deal with health issues, or it was a rough year financially, or a kid had a problem with this, or you didn't lose a business that, didn't get the job this, all the stuff that comes after us in life. And that previous year, we need it to be gone. We want it to go away because it was bad, right? And so this one is going to be good. It's going to be different. And I'm even going to effect some change in my life so that it will be good, right? We call those New Year's resolutions, where we plan to go to the gym or to start eating right. We're going to lose weight. That's the big one that most people implement. And you all know, the problem is that most New Year's resolutions, and by most, I think the data shows like somewhere upward of 80% of all New Year's resolutions are gone in 12 days, right? So that means by January 12 or 13, it's over, right? The plans that you put in place to make change, to be different, to be a stronger, better, faster, smarter man or woman are gone, right? And we just kind of default back into our old ways. That's why, Greg, I love this metaphor that he used earlier. It's like, for old computing people, Control Alt Delete, right? Like that was a reboot for the system. When the computer froze up and stopped working and doing what it was supposed to do and it wasn't functioning optimally, you press those three buttons together and it would recycle and start scratch. And that's how we look at New Year's, but it never works out quite like that, because by the time we get to February 1st and March 1st and April 1st, we're back to the same old stuff. And then 2025 is going to end up just like 24, which was just like 23 and so on, right? So how do you do it differently? What is it that has to be fundamentally different? Well, Greg said it earlier as this week as well. You've got to start thinking differently. You can't do the same things, right, that you were doing and expect a different result. I mean, they credit that to Einstein, but it's true. If you keep doing the same things, you're going to get the same results. That's just how life works. You've got to be different. You've got to think different. And just saying, hey, I'm going to go to the gym, or hey, I'm going to start eating right, that doesn't cut it. You've got to be different. Now look, one of the things that we all worry about, is the end of times, right? Especially as we start a new year. And in 2025, there have been many prophets who have told us that 2025 is the year for the end of the world, when Revelation, that book, will come true, right? I love the book of Revelation, and I love to hear those doomsday prophecies because they always make me giggle. I chuckle inside because I don't think they get it. And they don't get it because why? Because I'm not sure that they're reading scripture properly. Listen, the book of Revelation, we're talking about newness, New Year's. The book of Revelation at the end, chapter 21. So it ends with chapter 22. So the penultimate chapter, the author says about the one who is, chapter 21, verse 5, seated on the throne, behold, I make all things new, right? So what scripture is telling us is like that worldly way. You can promise yourself a fad diet or a fad, gym membership or whatever it is you're chasing with your New Year resolution to be new, and you're going to go with it this way or this way. It's not going to happen. We know you've got till January 12th. So have a good ride for a week and a half and then boom, back in action to normalcy. But with scripture, God is telling us very clearly, I make all things new. God's make all things new is radically different than the ways of the world. That's why we call it crucifixional. It is counterintuitive. In some real sense, God's way is oxymoronical, right? So if you want to make things new in life and to become an exceptional human being and to function and live at your optimal performance capability, you've got to start thinking totally differently, not the way of the world. And I use the word oxymoronic because it's funny, the message of the scriptures, and this is something I want to put in your head for all of 2025. We're going to start it today. If you really want this year to be different, you absolutely have to think differently. We're going to help you do that. We're working hard on it in our own lives. I mean, trust me, we're working ruthlessly on ourselves each and every day. That different type of thought is not the thinking of the world that says, get mine, get mine, get mine, right? Greg said it on, I think, Tuesday, you do you, right? That's what the casino advertisements here where we live say, you do you. The whole point of the message of the gospel is No, you do God's will, not your will, right? That's what crucifixional living means. It means you got to flip everything upside down because we're always in this pursuit chasing what's good for me. What am I going to get out of it, right? What's in it for me? Looking out for number one, right? The big foam hands, right? With the finger of number one. What are we looking for? We're looking for me. But God's message has said, hey, I've got some news to share with you. That doesn't work, right? Only when you become sacrificial of your own will, even at the cost of your own life, does things change. Do things change, right? Now, this is precisely what the book of Revelation is meaning. This is why I said earlier, the interpretations that people put out there looking for the doomsday to come in 2025, it's silly, ridiculous. They didn't see it. They don't understand the book of Revelation. People read it and they get lost. They're like, oh, is it coming? No, the book of Revelation is telling us you must think differently and sacrifice even your life, even if it goes that far. Be willing to give your life so that you can do God's will. And the reward, what Revelation tells us, is that those who do that are seated with God on his throne in the kingdom, right? Like, it's a very different way of looking at things. So now, rather than getting what I want by doing what I want, which is what the world proffers, we are seeing to get even something beyond what we want, beyond our wildest dreams, to be seated with God in the kingdom is at the cost of the life, right? It is through crucifixional living. It's a very different way to look at the world. But I promise you this, when you do, it actually works. When you do, things kind of go the way they're supposed to go. When you stop looking selfishly and start looking at the world selflessly, crucifixionally, baby doll, it works. I'm just telling you, right? God is not to be mocked. His word is not empty. What he says comes to fruition. And this is what he's told us. And he showed us that in his son, Jesus Christ. All right, I've rambled enough. I hope you have a great new year. I hope that it's different for you. Excuse me. In order for that to be different, you have to think different. You have to become different. You can't just say, I'm going to make a resolution. Tomorrow I'm going to give you some insights on how to actually do resolving properly. But in order to move forward, you got to think differently. We'll help you do it. Check out our stuff, UTB. Look, we're putting out a series on Revelation. It's coming. It's forthcoming. It's so good. It's done. It's through production. It just needs to be uploaded. Check it out. Excuse me. It will really shed some insight on the way you look at your life in this coming year. All right. Love you. We'll be back tomorrow. Have a great afternoon. And as always, keep walking on the way of the warrior saint.